What's up? My name is Big Glue. Welcome to Go Produce, where our focus is to help indie artists turn their passion into profit. We've already interviewed over 40 music industry professionals to determine how they have done just that. And I've learned so much information, and this is the opportunity I have now to share it with you. This is part 3 of a 4-part series called Start Your Indie Artist Career, and it really describes all of the steps that I've taken in a fair bit of detail in order to establish a solid foundation for a beautiful, thriving career in this music industry. This specific episode, part 3, is going to be covering the marketing steps, a couple of the steps that I've taken that I feel like are very integral. If you've been following along before, you've realized that we've already have our first song, we've made a couple of connections, and we're now in the phase of getting ready to put it out. This can take as much energy and time as you require. I'd suggest giving it a little bit more time than you're expecting to, because it really does drain the soul of all the creative energy that you have out there. And instead of being creative, you're out here marketing your product. And without the marketing, you're not going to have the kinds of success that you're looking for, that I'm assuming that you're looking for at least. But if we're here in order to build a business, you're going to have to market your project. So let's dive in a little bit deeper around what this looks like. In order to start this off strong, I'm going to invite you to revisit your goals. With your goals in mind, you're going to be able to move forward more swiftly. You're going to have a lot of things coming at you in terms of ad placements or playlist placements and blog requests and this and that. And a lot of them don't really make any sense to become a part of. They're just stealing your money, and that's not really effective marketing. So make sure to have a plan and remain focused on this plan so you don't get too far off your path. With your goal in mind, your next step that you're going to be taking into account is preparing your artwork. Your artwork is something that you're going to be able to share proudly with your community, with people that aren't part of your community yet, and this is going to be able to draw them in. This is a visual representation of exactly what you have in your song. You can be very creative with designing this. You can do it yourself. There are various platforms that you can use. Adobe Spark, Canva, both of those are free and they have paid options. You can talk to friends if you have digital designers, digital creators, anyone like that, even a tattoo artist. Talk to them, see what they can do. Anyone that's creative in that sense might be able to help you spark an idea and get you going on a very low budget. We're revisiting the goal. You've got your goal in mind, you've got your artwork at least underway. Now, what are you going to do next? Some questions that you can ask yourself when building a plan is, who's currently in your network? What is it that you want to accomplish with your goal? Why are you accomplishing that goal specifically? What are you going to be referencing, or who are you going to be referencing? Are there people that have done something similar to what you've previously done? What did they do in order to get to where you want to go? Or what did they do in order to get to where they are? Remember though, everyone has a different story and everyone's trajectory will be slightly different than the next. Remember that you're living your own story and you can't be comparing yourself to other people, but you can learn from them. One last question I invite you to ask yourself is, with the relationships that you currently have, what can you do to nurture them? This is something that I'm actually very guilty of, that I'm realizing quite recently, is that I've been so focused on myself and developing myself as an individual that I've kind of left my other relationships unattended more so than I should have. And that's something that will weaken you as an individual in the short term and in the long term. So make sure that you're still paying attention to the people that are in your circle that have been showing you love throughout, because without that, you have a very weak foundation. If you want any more tips on marketing specifically, feel free to shoot me a message. I also invite you to check out Adam Ivy. He's incredibly talented in the marketing space. He's been spending lots and lots of time specifically in music marketing. Check him out on his YouTube channel, Adam Ivy. Alrighty, my crew, I've got 3 main takeaways here that I'd like to conclude with. The first is to remember the power of one. Each person is incredibly valuable. Do not get bogged down by hitting the next milestone, 1,000 followers, 5,000 followers, whatever the case may be. Focus on one person. Remember how I touched on relationships? Each relationship is incredibly valuable. It's incredibly beautiful. Nurture those relationships. Do not let them wither. The second takeaway I'm gonna suggest is to focus on 1 or 2 platforms on social media. There are a plethora of platforms out there, and it is impossible to try and keep up with all of them, especially starting up as an indie artist, especially by yourself. So please just focus on 1 or 2. I'd recommend Instagram and TikTok for upcoming artists, but whatever you're most comfortable with, spend your time there. The third rule, the third takeaway that I'm gonna leave you with is to be your genuine self. People can see through all of the nonsense today. Don't try and be someone that you're not, because that's not gonna work for you. You're gonna have to become off camera one time, and when that happens, if you're not on your game, they're gonna call you out and it's gonna hurt. So just be your genuine self. There are people out there that will love you for who you are. We've got the takeaways, but I want to make sure that you realize that the marketing isn't out of the picture. This is going to be a long-term and ongoing game for as long as you're part of the industry. But now we can focus on the performance part of it. That's exactly what we're going to be talking about in part 4 of this series, so make sure that you are here. Artists, I see a world where all committed indie music artists and their communities can profit off of their passion. Thank you so much for being here and contributing to this vision. I want to know, what did you learn about marketing? Is there anything that I missed, anything that I can expand on? Please let me know in the comments or in the Facebook group. I will be happy to respond to your questions there. Make sure to subscribe because we're releasing part 4 in 2 weeks. You do not want to miss that. Performance is going to be so much fun. My name is Big Lou and this is Go Produce. We out.